This effective practice warm-up exercise is a sequence based on the interval of a fifth. In addition to a general practice warm-up, you'll build strength and train your fingers to maneuver challenging shapes on the keys of the piano. You'll see incredible progress with this practice method. Throughout this lesson, I'll give continuous reminders about the importance of your hand position. Let's get started on essential piano practice warm-up exercise number 3, sequence on fifths. We'll play the exercise chromatically. Remember that chromatic means moving in half steps without skipping any notes. In other words, we'll play the sequence beginning on C, then beginning on C sharp, then D, followed by D sharp, and so on. The pattern, or sequence, will go up 1 octave. Hand position is extremely important. Keep your wrist tall. You don't want it to be lowered. Keep your knuckles tall and rounded, not caved in like that. You don't want that. Keep your fingers rounded and tall. So for instance, you want this shape, not with that caved in look right there, or you don't want your fingers to flatten out. Also pay special attention and apply this positioning to the fifth finger and the outside of your hand. You don't want your hand to cave in that manner. Keep the outside of your hand tall and your fifth finger tall. This exercise will also train your hand to move and turn in this manner. You'll be doing this while keeping the correct overall hand position. The exact pattern is this. Go up a half step from C and then back. Then our interval of a fifth, down a half step and back. Then our interval of a fifth again. And then we'll repeat each measure. Play the same pattern, moving up 1 octave chromatically. And here we go. There will be 2 different fingerings that we use. The first fingering is 1-2, 1-5, 4-5, 1-5. Right hand thumb on middle C. Are we ready to begin? Here we go, starting on C. If you need to go a little slower, that is just fine. Check your fifth finger. We're on D. Repeat. Now D sharp. Second line. Now be sure that your wrist is still tall and that your knuckles are tall. We're on F. Be sure that your fourth finger and fifth finger are remaining tall. Repeat. We're on the third line now on G. G sharp now. And check your second finger here to be sure that it's still tall and rounded. And repeat. We're on the last line, measure 11. Check the outside of your hand, be sure that it's still tall. And now we're on C again. Repeat. Great work. Now for the left hand. Place your left hand fifth finger on the lower C. And let's check our hand position. You'll want a tall wrist, not lowered. Keep your knuckles tall and not caved in. You don't want that. Your fingers need to be tall and curved, so don't let this cave in and don't let your fingers go flat. I want to again mention giving special attention to your fifth finger and the outside of your hand. Keep the outside of your hand tall and not slanting off to the side or caved in. Also remember that this exercise will train your hand to move and turn in this manner, all while keeping the correct overall hand position. The first fingering we'll follow is 5-4, 5-1, 2-1, 5-1. The pattern or sequence is the same as the right hand. Up a half step from C and then back. Then our interval of a fifth, down a half step and back, and then our interval of a fifth, and we'll repeat. Starting on the fifth finger as shown on the score, let's begin. Keep your hand tall. Here we go. If you need to play a little slower, please do. That is just fine. Check your hand position. Be sure you're tall. Check your fifth finger and the outside of your hand. We're on the second line, measure 4. We're on E now. Try to keep each note sounding equally. F. Check your fourth finger. Be sure it's tall. Up to F sharp. And now the third line. We're on G. Be sure your second finger is tall and curved, not caving in. A. And repeat. Here we are on A sharp, the last line. Be sure the outside part of your hand is still tall. Here's C. Repeat. Excellent. Now we'll return to the right hand and play the next fingering. With the right hand, we will again play the same exercise, but this time we'll use the fingering 1-3, 1-5, 3-5, 1-5. This fingering is very important for the development of your finger technique. Place your right hand thumb on C. Be sure your wrist is tall, your knuckles are tall and rounded, and that your fingers are not caving in. Remember, we don't want that to happen. We don't want your fingers to flatten out like this. Tall and rounded. For the purposes of playing some of these shapes, feel free to move your hand and turn your hand in this manner while keeping the correct overall hand position. And let's begin. Remember 1-3. 3, 1-3, 5-3, up to C sharp. Now check your fifth finger. Be sure it's tall. We're on the second line. Check your third finger to be sure it's tall and curved. We're on E. Good strong tone. And now F. Check your wrist to be sure it's still tall. Keep checking your third finger too. And now we're on the third line. G sharp. Check your fifth finger to be sure that it's tall and curved and playing on the tip. Good strong tone. A sharp here, last line. We're on B. Here's our last one, C. Nice job. Now for the left hand. Place your left hand fifth finger on the lower C. Our fingering will be 5-3, 5-1, 3-1, 5-1. Check your wrist, be sure it's tall. Knuckles tall, and fingers rounded and curved so that everything is tall and strong. Remember, for the purpose of playing some of these shapes, feel free to move and turn your hand in this manner. Here we go. Remember our fingering, starting on C, 5-3. And repeat up to C sharp, same fingering. Repeat. This different fingering really changes the shapes. Second line, D sharp. Here's E. Be sure your third finger is tall and curved and strong. And be sure that your outside of your hand is tall and strong. We're on F sharp. 5-3, 3-1. We're on the third line, measure 8, and repeat the G. G sharp now. Strong tone on every note. A sharp, last line. We're on B. Keep your fifth finger tall here. And here's C. Very good. Not only have you completed a beneficial practice warm-up exercise, but you have also made excellent progress with the development of your finger technique. And why is that important? You'll gain much more joy and satisfaction from the music that you'll be learning and playing. Continue to practice this exercise for even further results. Thank you for watching. Remember to subscribe so you receive the latest training, teaching, and performance videos.